I'm John Peragine, the Chief Revenue Officer at Audience Town. Audience Town is the advertising platform for real estate, moving, and home. Today with me, we have Tyler Fitch. Tyler, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Tyler Fitch. I run ad partnerships for Tubi. Tubi was recently acquired by Fox, so now we are a part of the Fox Corporation as of April last year, so almost a year since we've been acquired. But we are one of the largest, or if not the largest, free streaming platform in the world, and continue to get bigger and bigger. And happy to work with you on the real estate market.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler, and congrats on all the success you guys have had over the last couple of years. It's amazing to watch you guys continue to grow and be really successful. The point of our conversation today is to be a translation layer for advertising technology, connected TV, really for the real estate market. A lot of real estate marketers are really starting to dive into some of these newer tactics for them, such as connected TV. And, one of the things that we see, and maybe you read just in the news, it's a big story, is just that the real estate market is really on fire. There's a lot of migration going on across the US right now, a lot of interstate moving, a lot of intrastate moving, and a lot of it's driven by what's gone on in the last the last year or so with COVID, people working from home, life stage changes, working remote. So there's been a lot of reasons for people to rethink where they live, why they live there, should they still live there, are they able to keep their job and maybe live in a place that provides a better work-life balance than they have today, and not having to commute really into an office every day has really driven a lot of those decisions. Zillow has some really interesting facts. One being that the largest portion of home buyers are first-time home buyers, people that are buying their homes for their first time. And then when you look at that a little bit more granular, over half of those people are actually millennials. So when we start to peel back the onion, we're knowing that there's a lot of people moving. More than half of them are millennials. And when you look at what kind of content and digital means these people consume, CTV bubbles right to the top. eMarketer states that 86% of millennials and Gen Z watch their favorite programs on connected TV. So, when we start to combine, all right, there's a large population of people moving, a large percentage of them are millennials, and these people prefer to watch connected TV. It starts to connect the dots for me that, real estate marketers should really look at connected TV to reach this population. On Tubi, are you seeing that millennials are really a large portion of the people that are consuming and watching?
Yeah, and as somebody who recently pandemic moved, and don't let the gray hair fool you, but I still qualify as a millennial barely. But yeah, our audience is much younger than the linear audience. So we've seen that grow, and to be honest, CTV is one of those places that has really exploded during the pandemic because of people being locked down. And not like it wasn't happening before, it just accelerated the behavior of people streaming and being in their homes and realizing that they may not, or they need more content and they want to watch free content. So it's definitely a younger crowd, and seeing the Fox footprint and linear and Tubi footprint, our audience skews well younger. And we continue to see the growth, and it's with the growth, we are seeing that older audience move over too, but we've always been leading with the young tech savvy folks that are looking to get content that they like, and Tubi's been in a position to offer personalized content to every household. And therefore, I mean, no matter what you like, we always talk about super serving the underserved of people that are need free content that they might not find on Netflix, or they want more anything from comedies or African American content or Hispanic content. We just released our own news product. So we're always focused on having the biggest breadth of content and finding something that's relevant for you. And that's really ties well with that millennial outlook of being personalized and getting exactly what they want when they want. And I think AVOD is well positioned to get that.
Yeah, for our audience that maybe doesn't know all the acronyms, can you define AVOD for me, please?
Sure. AVOD, and you'll hear a few other acronyms thrown out there, but AVOD is advertising video on demand. So when you look at Netflix's and the Disney Pluses, those are SVOD, so subscription video on demand. So there's no way to reach them with advertising, where AVOD allows us to get in front of them. So these folks that are moving towards streaming, this is why AVOD becomes even more important, is as people move to other streaming services, they're subscribing to 2 or 3 services or getting rid of their cable, they're no longer reachable. So we actually show that 80% of our users, or close to 80% of our users, are unreachable versus via linear cable. So it's a whole net new audience to find, or that you're missing from your linear TV budget. So it's all net new audiences that we really see, are very high net new audiences when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, is that you're able to do almost like targeted branding, where you're able to use the sight, sound, and motion of connected TV, but then put an ad that is personalized or targeted based upon audience or content to one household versus a different ad being showed maybe to your neighbor because they fit a different profile or targeting parameter.
Yeah, and just to that too, I mean, the information we get in the request and being able to buy on a very small area of users, or make it very broad, and be able to dive down into, I only want to buy this DMA or this zip code, is really easy with connected TV too, and that scales across the board. So just the flexibility that we see with buying digitally versus linear is a big perk.
Yeah, that's great. So just to like recap quickly for my audience, so connected TV, yeah, you have AVOD, which is advertising video on demand, which is basically advertising supported content, just like you would have on TV. It's better than TV. I'm going to go on record and say that, and the reason being is because you can target it and be more efficient, and really put the right ad in front of the right person on the right screen at the right time, especially if they're in, where they are based in their moving journey. You can maybe target them with a certain product depending on where they are in that journey. Are they ready for mortgage, or are they actually just starting their journey and looking for a home? Or did they actually just move in and now they need home security or pest control, or maybe some of these other items to make their house a home? So that's definitely interesting. And then also the addressability of the advertising, specifically by content, by location, and being able to do more targeting than you could if you were just running like it's called local TV.
Yeah, I think another one to call out too, while we're on that topic, is just the measurement factor. So since it is served digitally and we know where it was served, the measurement of ROI is easier than linear TV. So we can see with people that have seen an ad that have converted or came to your website, and we're able to see that in real time.
Yeah, that's really important, because the real estate industry and a lot of our marketers that we work with are they're very ROI driven. They want to see that if they invest, if they make an investment in media, that they're able to get a return on that investment. And the measurability of connected TV being a digital medium lends to that, as opposed to maybe what you would get out of TV or even print, which a lot of real estate advertisers still rely on.
Yeah, and I think that's going to become more and more important as we see the moves that we're seeing with Google in the past week, and Facebook being affected by that. What happens with Apple moving forward in terms of privacy, and how we can measure how effective our sales lift is. TV does not look to be affected right now, or at least connected TV with that.
Yeah, that's great. So that is definitely a topic that I wanted to touch in. So it's great that you weave that in. But how should real estate marketers be thinking about the Google announcements and how that affects connected TV, or if they were looking to advertise in connected TV? Does that affect their marketing at all? Does that change anything?
No, not from a monetization standpoint or being able to serve. There's no really big changes for us. We've always worked in a cookieless environment. We've always been able to serve digitally, and those signals that were being passed are not in that realm of the cookies going away. We will have to see on some of the measurement aspects and how users are able to be tracked across platforms. And that's one hiccup. And that's something we're addressing very quickly. And I won't get too techie on this call, but there are some workarounds available that we're talking about with the Trade Desk Universal ID and some work that we're doing with LiveRamp. And so we'll try to connect the dots there. But that is my biggest concern, is the tracking. But really, if you own the user journey, if you have everything done right, which Audience Town can help you do, then it shouldn't be a problem in terms of providing ROI back to the client.
Yeah, like yourself and being really being a non-cookie based solution. When we built out this company, being like a 2.0 company, we knew this was coming, so we built out a lot of our technology as well on IDs and not necessarily on based on cookies. So it's good to know that the two align really well for connected TV, because that's how mobile app and connected TV, it's all based on an ID or device ID system. So we won't get too into the weeds. That'll be for like the next version of this, where our clients will ask hopefully more detailed question, and then we could do the 201 version of this. One of the things that is maybe a preconceived notion of some of real estate marketers is a lot of what they do, they believe Google search is really easy. They've been doing that for a long time. Social is easy. They've been doing that from a long time. But connected TV just seems hard to them, probably because they just haven't done it yet. So maybe you could talk about how the ease of the ease of getting a campaign going in connected TV, and that talk about is it hard to start a connected TV and get one launched?
No, I mean, we see the local business and small businesses growing as a big component of our growth and our revenue. And so while it is easy to, and we're not saying don't do search or social, this is definitely another medium to reach audiences at scale, and they have their different perks. I mean, we know TV is the best branding medium in the world. We can recite TV commercials we saw 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And so this is another medium of being able to target, but also get the biggest, most impactful ad unit in the world to right in front of a user. And so there is you can still do social. There isn't really a big barrier to entry with us. You aren't working with every publisher in the world or need to do a separate deal with every media company in the world. Like, we have partners that we can use to tap into those. So you don't need to worry about the barrier to entry into the CTV market. We have people that have done the work for us.
Yeah, cool. I think it's easy, but it's good for real estate marketers to understand, especially from from your point of view, that it's easy to get going. We try to make it as easy as possible, for our clients, and CTV is simple enough to turn on and get reach, especially across a lot of the Tubi content channels that are available. What do you suggest are the content? Commercial length is something that comes up. What are best practices for creative executions for real estate marketers in connected TV? Is there a certain commercial length they should use, or you suggest, or other things that you suggest they should have in their commercial that would be most effective?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's really commercial length that is the most important. We usually do take up to 30 seconds, but we have everybody use 6, 15s. Tubi's a little bit different because we make our own ad space, because it's on demand.
Mhm.
where linear is a bit different. But I think the main thing here is frequency and how often you hit a user that's in market, um, and how big your reach is really the focus that we're working with when we work with a marketer, is how many times you hit that user, what's the message. Creative is always going to be huge, but we're not really involved with that. But it is reach and frequency. When you look at how many times do you need to get in front of the user, is it 3 times to get your message across? Is it
Yeah.
4? Where are you finding them? What ad units? I think that's going to be a main thing for the marketers here.
Yeah, so simple reach and frequency based upon engagement. What do you recommend, or what do you see most of your marketers using? Is it 3 per 24? Is it 10 per month? What do you?
I mean, we see everything. It's definitely more than one uh, per day that we see. I would say in the 3 to 4 a day. And our ad, Tubi is very different, where our ad loads are very light. So you're not seeing 10 ads in a row, and you're not seeing it every 5 minutes where the person is annoyed. So we'd like to keep our ad experience positive. Um, I think it's going to matter for every campaign and what they're trying to achieve. There's going to be a long sell for a lot of them, and some of them are going to be a short sell, and trying to move people to buy their products. But it really changes. We are working with a lot of direct response advertisers, and it's different for every campaign and how many times they need to see an ad.
Yeah. If you were speaking, which you are, to real estate marketers, like what advice would you give them on, getting their first CTV campaign going? Like what would you suggest?
Yeah, for us, it's measure what's going on and lean in. I mean, that's where we want people to feel comfortable spending money in the CTV medium. And a lot of the work that we're doing and how we get to keep up with the growth, we've grown exponentially over the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, we've gone from just being a little tiny company now to having ads in the NFC Championship game. So it just the growth that we've seen um, under the Fox umbrella has been amazing. So it is spend and lean in to spend, and then measure. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for us, and just how we're going to grow as a company. Is there are tools out there now to feel like you're buying social, because that's what Facebook makes you warm and fuzzy, because they tell you how much money you made, how many visits you drove, and the conversions, and that's what you want to see. So now, as we've gotten bigger, CTV has that same functionality where they can go and measure how many people from this IP address, or an IP address that was exposed to your ad, went into your website or went and signed up for the service. So we're getting into that closed loop, and it's not the walled garden like a Facebook where they're spitting out data and to make you feel good. It is exact data where we're showing that we served an ad to this person, and this person from that same household visited your website or filled out a form or anything like that.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things that we do to that, really to connect to what you just said is, we have the ability to run an ad on Tubi and then see if the person that actually saw that ad, we can then retarget them with like a display ad, knowing that they were exposed and saw an ad on their connected TV device, and then that they then click and respond and then interact with the banner ad they saw, and we could tie the two together, saying that the exposure drove a higher click-through rate on the banner, which drove them into the website so that they made the conversion. So you can connect basically the path to conversion, showing that the connected TV sight, sound, and motion raised awareness and intent and increased intent, and then the intent was taken, on like the second or third ad they saw, which could have been a banner ad or something like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that ties into Google search too. Like, you'll see an uplift in searches, because usually if you see something you like, you're going to search for it via Google. So just be aware that when you do have those buys on connected television, it's going to have I guess, a shampoo effect other places where you're advertising. So It'll increase your social, it'll increase your Google searches and what you have there, as well as banner.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we have to continue to educate real estate marketers on. A lot of them started advertising and pay per click and search and things that are very like low in the funnel. And part of this series is really to educate them on how other tactics that would be seen higher in the funnel, awareness, branding, how that really does drive people into the purchase funnel, and they come out in the conversion because of the effectiveness of connected TV. It really does work. And they need to look at the picture more holistically, because people are seeing the ads and then taking action. So it's good to hear you say that.
Yeah, and we can prove it now, and we have case studies that we've released, if you want to look those up, around performance, that we've worked with advertisers from grocery chains coming in to people using apps to purchase, like during the pandemic, people doing drive up like services, and we continue to get better and better and prove our own worth when it comes to connected television. But this is all available now.
Yeah, cool, man. So besides your great taste in gingham shirts, is there anything else that you want to talk about today regarding connected TV?
No, I think from us, it's here to stay. The landscape has changed. COVID has obviously accelerated that change from what we've been seeing over the past 5 years. But this medium of buying is a necessity to get in front of eyeballs and to be impactful, that you're not going to get in social or in a different medium. So I would say lean in, measure, and let the team make you feel comfortable about buying this new medium, because it's not a black box anymore. It's real. The eyeballs are real and here to stay.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time today, Tyler. I think this was great, and I think the audience is really gonna lean in on this, because there's a lot of good nuggets there, from the measurability of connected TV, the ability to target it by content or by audience. You could follow the attribution down to see how impactful the connected TV ads are, the targetability of them, and more importantly, real estate marketers are able to use this today to make their marketing more effective.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tyler.